Is that video?
Yeah.
So now I feel uncomfortable.
No, you'll be alright. Just get used to it.
Yeah. Film him.
Do I look okay?
Okay.
Fire away.
So, I know this is a complete surprise to you. We've known each other quite a long time, but I recently found out about a band you were in about 20 years back, called Smell the Glove.
Smell the glove. What do you know about that? Well, those are three words that I haven't heard in that particular order for a very long time.
And yeah, I just wanted to find out a bit more about it.
Well, there's not much to know, really.
Play for it. Just play anything. You're gonna have to get used to it, Harry, because you're gonna have to record a video.
Why don't you start by just telling us a little bit about who you are and your history in the music industry?
Really? I'm me, and I have history in the music industry.
Well, there's not much to know, really. You know, I was in a band called Smell the Glove. That was short-lived, but it, you know, punched above its weight. And yeah, I was in there with a few talented people. Some of which I'm not currently in contact today. Some of which I am.
No, it's no problem. My pleasure, really. I'm just surprised that you want to talk about Smell the Glove.
No, I mean, it's fine. You can just leave the microphone.
If I just put it here, is that going to be okay?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay.
No, it's fine. There's really no need to.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Should we go
Yeah, if you just stop distorting the mic.
up and under?
So, just wanted to talk about Smell the Glove. Okay. So I've been finding it quite hard to track down who played the drums for Smell the Glove. We've had a few names, but yeah, can you enlighten us?
Played the drums. Quite a few people, I guess, kind of popped in.
So was it that you didn't have a single drummer, or
Do you know what? I can't really remember. There's one who came quite often and he was alright, I think. Unless I'm confusing him with another one. But yeah.
it just seems a bit odd because, you know, most bands, I mean, especially as a bass player, wouldn't you have considered the drums to be an integral part of the rhythm section? And
Yeah, I mean, it helps.
but in terms of Smell the Glove, I mean, did you have a drummer?
There was someone. Yeah.
Do you have a name?
I'll be honest, I can't really remember. Might have to ask any of the others.
I don't care. He knows about me.
There was someone around.
Okay. I don't know if I remember this from our conversations in the past or something I've read, but I've heard that you have some quite obscure influences, some kind of Caribbean and maybe South American influences.
Well, I certainly did. You know, being a sort of middle-class white guy from Hammersmith, you know, you grow up with a lot of sort of Caribbean influences in that neighbourhood. But yeah, it never really gelled with Smell the Glove. You know, they couldn't. I don't think, you know, between you and me, I don't think the band really understood the depth, the sort of the dynamic of reggaeton, as it's
Right.
properly known. Yes.
It was really the dancing, the grinding, the perreo. That's what really kept me coming back to reggaeton.
But, it's something that I've always sort of kept with me in my side projects, you know, beyond Smell the Glove.
I mean, that's kind of surprising. What would you yourself say was your main influence?
Well, when I was younger, I certainly listened a lot to bagpipes. They were kind of a crucial part of my upbringing.
I mean, that's also quite unusual. So I've spoken to the other guys and they've both revealed some fairly unique, interesting influences. Just want to ask you the same thing about, you know, where your musical background is.
Well, I originally came on as the triangle player.
Right. So, yeah, tell me more about the triangle.
Basically, you know, the triangle, to a layman, I mean, it can seem a very easy instrument to play. But once you've developed that familiarity and you realise there are, you know, what the actual potential is of the triangle, then you might find yourself or any triangle players you know to be lacking really the skills required to get the most out of the instrument.
So how did triangle playing lead to Smell the Glove?
It's a funny story as it happens, because I was originally, before Smell the Glove, I was actually playing a triangle in a Highland bagpipe band. Now we were getting ready, we were having rehearsals every couple of times a week in a rehearsal space, and somehow we managed to, you know, every time we were there, after us, there'd be this Smell the Glove. You know, Harry in particular, he'd be coming, you know, he'd be coming 2 hours early for every practice just to listen to us through the door.
So you had all these, varied influences and different instruments. So how did you actually form the band as we know it?
Well, you know, as a guitarist, we never really thought of it like that. You know, you're never just a guitarist. You're the guitarist with the drummer, bass player, the, you know, triangle player, the singer.
Like a band?
Whoever's in the room. And it was more of a sort of collective thing in a way. It was more organic.
Like a band?
Yeah, a bit like a band, yeah.
I think people who listen to Smell the Glove would probably class it as prog rock, and maybe even say that perhaps you guys were maybe years too late coming out with a style like that in the 90s. And to say you were influenced by reggaeton is kind of, yeah, I mean...
Well, I mean, look, there's a lot of things to say to that. I like to think that is that they came too early for us. So that's one way to think about it.
But yeah, it all came together really. We took a lot of risks.
I've said prog rock, but I mean, what would you guys describe your sound as if you were both us right now?
You mean Smell the Glove?
Yeah. You know, in a kind of...
I mean, you know, look, how long is a piece of string? It's one of those...
but I mean,
if you start delving into that, you just get lost.
if you had to put it in a genre.
Can it be put in a genre? That's the question I would put to you.
Would you be able to answer that?
If I describe Smell the Glove?
Yeah, and I mean just what kind of genre you might place the music in.
Well, I'd say more in a league. Who are we in a league with? And I'd say that's the kind of musical greats, like Queen and Bowie, and who else has died recently? Prince.
So,
Big name.
John Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi, did he die?
Is he not dead?
I don't think he's dead, no.
Huh.
But you know what I mean.
Should we move on? So there's also, of course, the elusive third member of the band, John.
Yeah, well, he had some success a few years ago with a project he was doing.
Was that with another band, or?
But it was more a promotion, marketing sort of thing. But actually, have you ever heard of Findus Crispy Pancakes?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he made a song for them, a jingle that went on one of their adverts, and they loved it. They lapped it up, and so yes.
So how come only John ended up doing the song? Were you guys still a band at this point?
It's some muddy waters there. I mean, we were and we weren't. We were like a married couple going through marriage counselling. That wasn't going very well.
It's kind of strange to think as
So-
well, because as far as I know, John didn't write any of the songs, so...
I know. I mean, he did. I mean, we had to write the foundation, but he I mean, he wrote his part.
So he was up to the task of the Findus crispy pancake advert, you think? You think he was the right man for that job?
I mean, anyone could have been, but
He
and that's
he
no
could
slight
put
on
the-
his.
Put the roof on any building. That's the good thing about John. He could put the roof on any building.
John was coked off his nut, and he just thought he'd go and be a star.
Panqueque, panqueque, crujiente, crujiente. Queques crujientes de Findus. No para niños, para todos.
You give him a good song, a good foundation, and he'll put the roof on it.
So, do you guys regret not being involved in the Findus campaign? Is it something you thought about?
Are you asking if we regret not flogging like crispy pancakes?
Well, no. It's just that as successful as Smell the Glove was, obviously John is now, living off the fruits of the Findus pancake tree, and
Well, I never understood about John kind of really kicking off with the pancake shit. Was I thought no one even ate them anymore, and frankly, clearly, but not here. We don't have the adverts here anymore, do we? Where do they come from? Where are they happening?
Apparently, they're in Spain.
so what? He followed the Findus to Spain.
I'm not sure if he followed the Findus, but he found it in Spain.
Okay.
This is a serious concern for public health. We must have answers.
Pancakes are safe.
This is unacceptable. The fact is, we don't know what's in the pancakes.
I can assure you your children will be safe with the crispy pancakes.
For years, people have admired the Englishman for the quality of his hot, beefy pockets. But now we ask, is he the one who has become the crispy pancake?
His days of peddling snack food have ended. The pancake dream is over. Disintegrated into a fine white powder.
He's still getting money.
But still now.
Yeah, of course. He's making money every day. We have nothing against Findus crispy pancakes, by the way.
No, and our lawyers have been very clear about that.
We didn't even do the fucking song. So our lawyers were very clear that we didn't actually need their services anyway.
Obviously, Smell the Glove was a success, and
How do we feel about him moving to Spain? Is that what you're asking?
I was just wondering how, how that sits with you. And
Well, I mean, look, John's been in Spain for a long time. We've had a long time to get used to his absence.
do you miss him?
No, not really. But, that's what it is to get used to an absence.
Were you guys quite big back in the day?
I mean, yeah, we were.
I mean, can you remember the kind of vibe that used to go
Go on, was it kind of...
It was crazy, really. I mean, Streatham, we were definitely more celebrities, really. I guess you could say we were famous for.
Certainly, round Croydon, and Bermondsey, those kind of places.
Right.
Really, yeah.
We're massively famous in Streatham.
So quite a lot of fans.
We did all right. We did all right. Do gigs where everyone always stood out of shot from the cameras, so sort of. But they were giving us space. I think they were allowing the music to sort of feed into the room a bit rather than because it's like if you stand at the front, then the sound's no good because a lot of it's coming from the side speakers on the stage, and so
Right, so people wouldn't stand in front of the...
They'd stand back, which is why the room can sometimes look a bit empty.
I've spoken to your superfan and... Hello? I mean, it was an interesting experience. It must have been a tricky thing to deal with. Oh, hi. I'm looking for a...
Yeah, okay.
The...
Yeah, it's done. Cheers.
Alright, thanks.
Yeah.
Just down here?
Oh, no. Go on.
Not just down here. Hello? Oh. Sorry, it's just, there's a sign said not to knock.
I don't want you to disturb him upstairs. But I want you to come in because I've been expecting you.
Oh, really?
And you have to be quiet.
Okay.
And you have to be quick. I gotta go and get Desiree, that's my girl, but we talk about that. No, we don't talk about that. Don't.
I'm actually making a documentary. I was just wondering if I could have a word with you and ask you a few questions.
What's it about?
It's about a band called Smell the Glove.
The glove, you say?
Yeah. I understand you were a big fan of theirs. Is that okay if I sit down?
I suppose so. You're in now, innit? You don't really wait.
I thought you said it was okay.
What, who's gonna see this?
This is just a documentary. It's
You won't show it to the police, will you?
No, this is nothing, I mean, unless there's a reason to.
No.
I came to talk to you about Smell the Glove.
Are you from the police?
No.
You have to tell me if you are, you know.
We're actually making a documentary. We've heard you were quite a big fan of theirs.
Are you in touch with them?
We've spoken to some of them, yeah.
Who you spoke to?
Well, all the bands so far, actually.
What do they say about me? Why you come to me?
The reason we just wanted...
the best, isn't it?
We've heard you were a very big fan, yeah. We just
I
wanted
said
to get the perspective of someone who maybe was on the music scene at the time, maybe going to gigs and, you know, maybe tell us what it was about Smell the Glove that made them so special.
Wait, it wasn't them that was special. It was them. Only one of them.
Said he?
Oh, I didn't say he. I didn't say Des. Don't put that in. I didn't say Des.
Because I think I've heard something about you being, yeah, particularly...
No.
So it was the whole band rather than just one member?
No, like, I'm a bit deaf. Well, I'm not deaf. I just got special hearing in it, and I just hear certain frequencies. So I didn't really care about the rest of the band. I could only hear one part of the band, and that's the part that I like. But you know, it's part of the band.
Okay.
I was a big fan. I kind of still am. It's a shame it all went a bit wrong.
And
So you used to have fans coming from all around town, and
yeah, we had some fans from Fulham as well. We were that big, really. We were spread quite wide on the London scene.
right.
I used to follow them around. Like sometimes I went as far as Dalston, mostly Croydon.
So were you from around Streatham? Is that how you knew Smell the Glove?
Do I sound like I'm from Streatham? No, right. I just want you to know something. I like the Glove so much that I moved here from Weston-super-Mare for them. Yeah, I didn't just live round here.
Tell me about Streatham back in the old days. What was the music scene like?
There was no music scene until they came. They birthed the whole thing.
Right. So you remember the old days fondly then, I suppose?
I do. It's up here, you know. For reasons I don't want to go into, I'm not allowed to keep some stuff.
Do you remember much about the sound that the band kind of played back in those days?
I didn't really listen.
Okay.
I was a bit like, you know, I've got a strange frequency in my hearing, and I just used to like focus on the guitar. It's the sound my ear likes the most.
So yeah, I mean, was it sometimes a bit much with the fans? You know, was the attention? You kind of hear stories about rock bands and groupies and.
Well, there was actually, funny enough, that now that you mention it, at the King's Head, there was an incident.
Right.
Where well, I mean, it was.
Oh yeah, the King's Head. That was a good one. Obviously, we could fill much bigger venues, but we just preferred the intimacy of the pub gigs and the club gigs.
So I've heard about this King's Head gig actually.
Yeah.
It's meant to be was it quite a big gig for Smell the Glove?
Yeah, I mean, yes. Like, we had a huge crowd of people come from, from Croydon and Streatham, of course.
I think that night was also memorable for something of an incident that occurred a bit later on.
But I like to look at the images in my head.
So you don't have any photographs of the old days, or?
No, they're all watching me. They're always watching. I don't want that. I could get in trouble for having the photos, but I've got my way around that, and no one can stop me in it. No one can stop me. If I want to look at them, I look at them. It's up here. It's up here. I just close my eyes. Or I can look at my little friend.
So the gig at the King's Head, we've heard a lot about it, but people seem a bit unwilling to tell us too much.
Did you say you was again?
Well, we're making a documentary about.
But what do you know about this King's Head gig? How do you know about it?
We just heard there was an incident, and that's kind of where we found out about you as well.
You can't see it. No one can see it.
No, we haven't seen any footage of the gig. It's just.
No, you won't see any footage of the gig. I don't know if we should talk about that. I don't think I'm allowed to.
Okay.
There is no footage. The police confiscated it all.
Right.
So, just get that out of your head. All you need to know is it's got proof of everything I've been saying is true. He loves me.
But you say there's no film of the gig, so.
Hold on. So, if I was to give you the only tape, There's one left, yeah. I gotta go and get it from my safety deposit book. So I've been keeping it for something special.
You mean you've got a film of the King's Head gig?
Well, I might do. I might do. I might not. I might just be chatting because, you know, I do that sometimes.
So we've just found the King's Head film, and
Oh, right.
would you mind recounting the details of that night at the King's Head?
It was a bit special. So, do you mind if I use my little friends to help me?
Yeah.
They taught me this. It's a good way of getting help. So, I spotted him. See, this is me. I told you, innit? I can't hear nothing. Just the frequencies from him. So, this is me over here. I'm watching him. This is my little Des.
All I remember, and I know no one really likes to talk about it really, is that it was fucking hot.
And my mate had to bring me a glass of water. Who was that? That was Tommy? If I remember rightly, the air conditioning was busted, and
so we were all getting a bit hot and bothered. John was doing his funny pacing thing that always.
we were just like having to down pints of water, and I kept knocking him over because there was no space on the stage.
What's his pacing thing exactly?
Well, he likes to pace up and down in front of the on the stage. It's not. It's just walking about really, and you always think, is he gonna get lost in the moment and forget that he's now about to start? Yeah, we were always worried, or at least I was.
It's all for me, you know. No one else in the room notices him. They're all obsessed with that Findus crispy pancake fucker. But no.
I think Rowan's balls were on fire, so he had to sort of stand in a funny position to kind of let them cool down a bit. And
we were cooking. Rowan was moaning about his balls.
He stood there and he's just gyrating. I can see him across the room and he's just gyrating at me.
obviously with all the gyrating that Rowan was having to perform to ventilate his testicles.
And there he is gyrating, and fantastic pelvis of his.
There was a crazy girl in the audience who actually, you know, mistook that as some sort of comment.
And I want to kiss him, but I can't because I was in the crowd.
And then suddenly Rowan's pointing off to the audience.
But he stops and he points at me. I've got eyes. I don't have ears. I've got eyes. I can see him across the room. And that's when I knew. I'd go to hell for this man. I'd go to prison for him. I'd give him everything.
And she actually ended up stripping.
There's a woman there, and she's decided to strip down to nothing.
You could take everything from me. You could have my ovaries. You could have my boobs. You could have it all. Look, I even gave him the boobs because he loved those. He loved boobs. He was obsessed with them. So I gave him those.
And was, well, sort of, I guess.
I just, like, you know, I went over.
What you would call it now, because this didn't really, if I remember rightly, well, maybe it was around, but...
I sort of turned around and I tried to get him like this on stage, and...
It was twerking.
Right.
I don't know, a few things happened, and I don't know how much I can say, but I didn't wake up with him the next day.
It's just hard to get a grasp of this, of what was, you know, going on. I mean,
Well, To be honest, I don't think anyone really knew what was going on.
I told you, I can have things up here, and I can have it here, and they can't do nothing.
It was just too fucking hot, as I said.
I woke up in a police cell, and that's where it all went wrong.
We were able to obviously finish the gig and get all our songs played before the police arrived.
How did you feel after the incident? I guess this was quite a big gig for Smell the Glove, and I mean we've now learned about the police involvement and the extent to which
it was worrying. To be fair, it was you know, no one wants that when you're all having fun.
And can you remember how Rowan reacted to it?
Well, he, as usual, I think he encouraged the situation to become what it became, because he's not very bright like that our days.
Des. He bought me this, you know. My lily pad.
He bought that for you?
He did. He kind of like, yeah, he did. He did. You don't know, but he did.
Obviously, as a front man, that sort of thing happened to me all the time, but I don't think Rowan knew how to deal with the attention.
So he was complicit in the whole...
Oh yeah, he must have been.
Got proof of everything I've been saying is true. He loves me. I've got to go and get him for myself, so I can keep him something special. The only take. We've got to go and get Desiree. Let's go. No, we don't talk about that. Don't tell him. Don't tell him. One day I need to show Desiree her dad.
So yeah, I guess the gig was a bit of a write-off, or
Well, we managed to play hometown. You know, it was that was why we were there, is to sing a song about Streatham. That song summed it all up, really. It all started in Streatham. We were young, 2 cinemas, Megabowl, Zap Zone, and we had Caesars. Basically, as young teenagers, we really had no excuse to form a band. We just wanted to, really. Just becoming a bit more genericified every time I walk down the road. The song doesn't seem to relate as much these days, to be honest. Yeah. Well, one song, to be honest. It was great. It was amazing.
Stand up in the bass. The bass. Travel through ya. Take you, yeah.
How do I say it? I essentially reinvigorated my love of music and found myself having a new Facebook page. Apparently, I have been contacted by someone in Spain.
My mate had a glass of water. Who was that?
It's over.
Tommy?
So let's talk more about your, I guess, your stint in the goth scene.
Oh yes. Yeah.
So where did the inspiration for that come from?
Well, I think I liked the idea of being moody and appearing to people around me as if I didn't want to have much social interaction.
The reason I ask is there's been suggestion at least that maybe you had a girlfriend at the time who may have influenced. Have you got anything to say about that?
No.
So, Laura, I'm very grateful that you've invited us into your home. You're a very difficult person to track down. Quite an enigmatic figure, you could say. I really wanted to ask you about the Hazard, as you know him. I understand you were in a relationship. I was just wondering, because it seemed that he had no previous influences of goth music, and there's been a suggestion that you were the major influence for his stint in that genre. Just wondering if you had anything to say about that.